What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is Rustbeard, and we're going to be doing some follower dungeons today because I just want to, but also because I want to give some insight on what they are, how they work, if they're worth doing, who they're for, as far as the player base goes, and honestly, just overall, just trying to get a feel for them. I made a video a couple of days ago about the possibility of warbands being used as your followers in your follower dungeons, and I think that that would be an extremely interesting thing to navigate, and I would like to see that happen eventually, but unfortunately I don't think that's happening right now. I'm pretty sure it's the Exiles Reach NPCs that are following you into these dungeons, so we'll see. But I'm going to be doing one dungeon for each role. I'm going to be doing a tank dungeon, a healing dungeon, and a DPS dungeon, and we're going to get started first with the DPS dungeon, and I'm going to roll my hunter for this one because I'm trying to find ones that will yield XP as well, and my hunter is not maxed out yet, so figured I would go ahead and jump in with my hunter first, see how the XP is looking for follower dungeons, see how easy these are, you know, all that kind of stuff. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the first one with a DPS follower dungeon. Alright, so I'm pretty sure we can, queue for these follower dungeons. DPS is checked. We're going to do the Algathar Academy. And, yeah, let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, fairly quick queue. Hopefully, obviously. That'd be kind of awkward if we were waiting in queue for NPCs to join. Yeah, we got Captain Garrick, Merity Huntswell, Krenna Earthdaughter, and Shuja Grimax. So yeah, these are the at least Captain Garrick, I'm pretty sure, is from Exiles Reach. So okay, cool. Getting buffs, awesome. Get some mage food. That's cool. All right, interesting. So there should be a way that I can toggle leading the dungeon, but maybe that doesn't happen until you start. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. I don't know. I guess we'll see. I don't have the button. Oh, it's right here in the middle of my screen. I'm gonna have to move that. So yeah, this button right here will toggle the assistance. So right now, it will toggle to allow a follower to lead the way instead of myself. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and I'll probably, after this boss, I'll click it just to see, you know, what good it is, and we'll go from there. All right, let's see how this tank does. I watched Talius and Nevitel's video, which I don't think they went too horribly deep on it. It was just the weekly reset, and they kind of recapped it a little bit, but they made a little joke at the beginning about how it'll literally just do all the work for you, which is funny. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do the hunter thing and pull. Just gonna pull a shit ton of stuff. See how much this tank can handle. Captain Garrick, don't you wipe on me. Honestly, I wonder if that's even possible. Is it possible for the NPCs to wipe, or do they have a reset default? Garrick, come get your aggro, please. Thanks. Oh, Garrick died. Okay, alright. Interesting. Okay, so you can pull too big. It is possible to die. Awesome. Captain Garrick has left the instance group. That's funny. They all left the instance group, but it puts them back in. That's cool. Let's take it a little bit more seriously now, I guess. But I was just curious to see if we could actually wipe. That's interesting. Because I know a lot of NPCs, like, you can't kill them, they just, like, reset. Like the target dummies, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know if it was going to be something like that or what, but it's pretty cool. Surely we can pull more than one mob, though. Come on, heals. I wonder if they'll res me. Oh, they just leave once you die. Okay. Not the greatest mechanic in the world. Honestly, it would be cool to see them be able to resurrect you if you go down and the rest of the party's still going. Also makes me wonder about like battle reses and stuff. Why the hell was that 2 mobs too much for that to handle? Surely we can handle more than 2 mobs, right? I guess not. Okay, let's go ahead and switch this to... Okay, Captain Garrick is leading now. Interesting. I was gonna say, go ahead and lead the way, man. I'm trying to see if you're gonna actually go through the dungeon or if I need to trigger something. Looks like you still have to be going generally the direction you want to go. That's kind of weird, but I figured if they were leading the damn dungeon, they should lead the damn dungeon, you know what I mean? But what do I know? Yeah, so it won't entirely do the dungeon for you because you still have to go generally the direction you want to, the path you want to take. You also have to be close enough to Garrick for them to actually pull anything and all that kind of stuff, so I don't know if this is just because of my RNG right now, but I've already gotten more loot in this dungeon than I have in any Dragonflight dungeon I've run so far. Literally every time I run a dungeon in this damn game in Dragonflight, I've maybe gotten 1 piece the whole dungeon, so that's cool. Maybe this is a better way to gear while you're leveling, but I guess we'll see. Okay, so overall thoughts on the DPS stuff. Yeah, you can wipe, so there's that. It runs fine, the NPCs do fine. There's not really a whole lot to say about it. You're literally just running a dungeon with a pretty average group, really. The only thing I would say, though, is you don't get a whole lot of XP. It's an okay way to gear. I got 2 pieces of gear from this, and honestly, I barely ever get 1 from a dungeon, which really sucks, but... And that might have just been my RNG for this run. But as a DPS, dude, that was hella boring. I think as a DPS, I'd rather just do quests and stuff while I'm waiting for my queue to pop, and then blast through the dungeon. So, dude, this is not a way to level. This is not a way to level, unless you want to level really, really slow. I don't think you get the bonus XP for completing the dungeon, and I obviously didn't have any quests for this dungeon because I have already done them, so there's that. But overall, it works fine. Letting your follower lead is the way to go for DPS, trust me. Don't pull a whole lot because they will get overwhelmed, you will wipe. And yeah, overall, this is not the way that I would run dungeons regularly. However, at least as a DPS. However, for story stuff and to complete quests and stuff the first time through, sure, just because like you can get an instant queue for this pretty quick and then go through the dungeon and blast through it and whatnot. So there's that. Yeah, no, overall, if you're just questing, if you're just trying to have a chill time or whatever, this definitely is a viable option. But if you're doing this to try to power level or level fast, this is not the way. You don't get enough XP to be doing that, so not unless you're supplementing it with quests on the side and in between, of course. But if you're trying to dungeon level, this is not the way to go. Just join in a regular dungeon, plow through the dungeons, you get the bonus XP and so forth. So let's go ahead and move on to healer. Let's do a healer. It's a healer this time. I'm not familiar with healing whatsoever, so well, I'm not familiar with healing as an evoker, so this should be interesting. I'm gonna have them take the lead. I do not want to lead. Captain Garrick, let's go. Okay, I'm just healing shit. I don't know what's going on. I'm just hitting Healy looking buttons. Oh, did she just LOS them? Wow, okay. That's cool. Is there a reason I can't res them? Oh, there they go. Okay, so overall thoughts for healing. Healing was a little bit better than DPSing, I think. Unless you're just really, really high DPS, you're not going to go very quickly. So, especially with how these dungeons are kind of catered. These follower dungeons are mainly for new players, I would imagine. They're very slow paced. Again, nothing to level with for sure. Definitely not to level with, but healing was at least significantly better than DPSing, and I have a sinking suspicion I'm probably going to like tanking even more, but that's also because I main a tank, so I'm probably going to plow through tanking pretty easily. And I'm probably, just for the sake of wrapping this video up, I'm probably going to tank on my main, because at least then I know I can just plow through a dungeon really fast, because I already know how to tank really well. But I just wanted to play a healer, a tank, and a DPS just to kind of get a feel for what this is going to be like on each role. And so far this is pretty cool for newer players, and I'm kind of enjoying it. I think it's pretty cool. It's very slow paced though, so even so as a veteran player, this is probably not something that I would do more than the first run through for a new dungeon. I'd probably never do this for old dungeons, although it would be cool for old dungeons to be implemented into this for newer players that are coming in that have never done those dungeons before. So that would be cool to see. And as usual, I still would like there to be a warband implementation to this, just because I feel like that is honestly a cooler way to do this than the Exiles Reach NPCs, because I could honestly give a shit less, to be honest with you. But I guess as a new player coming in, if you do Exiles Reach, you probably have somewhat of a fondness for them, but I literally only have done Exiles Reach just to kind of break up the monotony of the starter zones that I've done 500 billion times before. So anyway, let's go ahead and get to a tank. I'm gonna tank this one and I'm gonna lead it. I'm not even gonna let the follower do it. We're gonna blast through this one nice and quick, like. All right. Let's get this show on the road. Okay, so that'll about do it. My closing thoughts are, 1, it is way too slow to level with, so don't think that this is an alternative to leveling unless you are fully prepared to level very slow. If you're not going to supplement it with quests and other stuff on the side, maybe this is something that would be cool to like throw into the mix to kind of break up the monotony of things, sure. But as a solely doing this to level, don't do it. Oh my god, you'll be doing this forever, guys. Oh my gosh. Even as a tank, when I did my tank run, I was playing my main, which I'm 100% comfortable with. I was pulling as big as I could. And still, you got to take into account the NPC's DPS, which brings me into my next statement. Blizzard, we got to find a way to stack this a little bit, because if we're going to keep it the normal difficulty, right? If I come in with an item level 500 character, whatever, you know what I mean? And I'm just exaggerating the numbers, but if I'm coming into a thing currently or whatever, and I'm like 20 item levels higher than what the requirement for normal is, then the NPCs that are with me should stack on top of that. They should also be my item level or something close at least. That way, if I'm doing it as a veteran player, I can still blow through this if I want to, you know? Because I'm clearly not going to be farming this for leveling. I'm not going to be farming this for any specific type of whatever, you know? So if it's going to be normal, and really the only thing I could farm from this is cosmetics and just to get the quest done or whatever, they should be able to stack with my level, or scale with my level. Sorry, I should be saying scale. So there's that. I would really like to see that. I did not like... Okay, there's obviously some bugs. My healer did kind of just get stuck somewhere in the back on that Ruby Life Pools run. Luckily, I didn't really need a healer too much because I'm a blood DK, but at the same time, yeah, that kind of sucks. So I had to stop going fast like I wanted to, and I had to reroute and go way back to grab my healer because they were like, oh shit, I guess because you're out of my line of sight, I'm just going to stand here and wait for you to come back and find me. So that was kind of annoying, but minor complaint, nothing crazy. Let's see. The overall gist of it is there. It feels like you're running a dungeon with a normal group, a regular group that's kind of like fairly experienced, you know, like they know what they're doing for the most part. They're healing right. Oh, the line of sight thing. When I was running as a healer, Captain Garrick, she was LOSing enemies, which I thought was really cool. She was like pulling enemies behind walls and stuff so they would come back around and so forth, which I thought that was pretty cool. So definitely a big win on that one. I like that. Yeah, just I would just say that please allow them to scale with whoever's running, okay? Like if it's a solo player especially, because I know you can run with friends and NPCs, that's cool, but like if you're running with just a solo person, it's just you, and I'm just trying to get through for the story, or if I'm just trying to like farm it for cosmetic stuff or whatever, transmog, they should be able to scale with me and keep up to par, like up to snuff with what I'm doing as that item level and so forth. And maybe they do. I might just be completely talking out of my ass there. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, I didn't feel like they did, but I could be wrong. But yeah, overall, cool system. Definitely cool for new players. Cool for people that are just wanting to do the quests or maybe have some kind of chill dungeons or whatever. That's cool. But definitely fix the few bugs that are there. Nothing major. I didn't run into too many problems whatsoever. Nothing that was game breaking. And Blizzard, for the love of God, when the War Within comes out, let us use our warbands in place of Captain Garrick and all the other NPCs and stuff, because it's cool, I guess, that they're coming back from Exile's Reach and making them more relevant and stuff like that. But dude, I want my team of my warband, you know, to be running these dungeons with me. I think that would be so much cooler. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about follower dungeons. Let me know down in the comments below what you took away from this. Are you liking the follower dungeons? Did you like to run them as a tank, DPS, or healer? Are there any glaring bugs that you ran into that I may not have run into on my runs? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd like to hear your opinions and thoughts on this whole thing. Please fill me in, because I like interacting with you guys and reading your comments a lot. It kind of opens up my eyes quite a bit to some things that I may not have noticed when I was running. So Please, as always, make sure you hit the like button if you like this video, and the subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. It definitely helps out the channel. I know I've just hit over 200 subs today, but I'm trying to hit a goal of 500 subs by the end of the year, and if you guys could help me reach that goal, that would be fantastic. I would love that so much, and thank you very much for the love and support, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.